Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to the Flying Fluffy Hockey review of last night's sweet 6-1 blowout victory for the Florida Panthers. A highly entertaining game once we got past the nightmare of a first period. I see Jeff is here, iDog is here, Shane Joe is here. iDog says Boston fans acting like our guys were the ones starting everything. Just hope we don't let up. Need to get at least one in Boston, preferably both. Yeah, I'm right there with you. So, we got a bit of news to talk about. Sheldon Keefe has been fired. And also, the Edmonton Oilers blew a 4-1 lead last night to lose 5-4 in regulation to the Vancouver Canucks. Hello, Owls. Hello, Strafossi. You hope we make Boston pay. Well, if we play the rest of the series like we played in the second and third period of last night, we should be able to get victory. Yeah, let me bring something to that point, Owls. It's not just the Panthers or Bruins or any of the other. There have been 6 games played so far. In 6 games played so far in the second round, and in every single one of them, the team that scored first went on to lose the lead and the game.
I'll be there soon.
And there have now been 2 separate 3-goal leads blown in at least one game of 2 different second-round series. Because Dallas had a 3-0 lead and Edmonton had a 4-1 lead. And both of them lost their game ones. Dallas did it at home. Shane Joe says he kind of expected Keefe was getting canned when Toronto told him the player exit interviews were optional. Hello, Nintendo Law. Hello, Icy. How is everybody doing? Feeling pretty good? That first period was a continuation of the nightmare from the second and third period of game 1. We were super lucky to get out of that first period down 1-0. We were a post and a whiffed shot away from 3-0. But then the Panthers changed the lines during the first period, and surprise, surprise, having Barkov and Reinhardt and Tarasenko on the same line works. And then we actually started putting guys in front of Swayman. We got a tip in from Lorentz to open the scoring. Barkov right beside the net for the go-ahead goal. Then Forsling with an absolute dagger of a snipe in the waning seconds of the second period. And then you had Luosterainen's super quick score to start the third. And by that point, it was just a matter of, Montour scored, Barkov got a second goal, and then Boston started to get punchy. Quite literally, with the scrums, slashing Lundell behind the knees, Pasta picking a fight with Kachuk and getting absolutely bodied. Oh, Pasta's going to be pissed, though. We might have to try and contain him next game, or it could get ugly. What's up? What's up, Dennis? Yeah, good team win. So let's see. Let's see what. Let's see what we've got going around as far as news. Let's see. Jameson Olive posted at Okposo on Kachuk's fight. It was awesome. I love Chucky. And Okposo on Barkov. He's on the quieter side, but he plays loud. So who did they give the puck to? Oh, they gave it to Stenlund, it looks like. Maurice said if you paid money to come to the rink tonight, you had a hell of a night. Maurice on Barkov taking over tonight. He's the perfect man to be the captain of the Florida Panthers. Jameson also tweeted that Kulikov deserved some love tonight. Florida led 20-2 in shot attempts at 5-on-5 when he was deployed. In that time, the Bruins had 0 expected goals. Yeah, Toronto fired Sheldon Keefe. And the Vancouver game was nuts. The Edmonton had a 4-1 lead in the second period and proceeded to blow it. Let's see. Oilers fans are still having a meltdown. They might be kind of justified. Hey, Incorrigible Goat Slayer says, hey guys, that's the game I was talking about. Barkey got his LFG Cats. Let's see. Steven Lorenz said, we were just chipping away. Once we got that first goal, we kind of got the ball rolling. Happy with our performance tonight, and we've got to keep it going in Boston. Bobrovsky on Chucky versus Pasta. A great fight. 2 leaders going against each other. It's good for the game for sure. Sam Bennett is on the ice with the Florida Panthers scratches this morning. Okay, so he is skating, but it does not sound like he might not be in for the game Friday. Let's see. Give me a second. So, post game tonight, Edmonton coach Chris Knobloch said Leon Draisaitl left the game during the second period due to cramping issues. And Rod Brindamore tells reporters Pyotr Kochetkov is starting game 3. He wants Frederick Anderson to get rest. So Kochetkov will be the goalie tonight for the Hurricanes. Let's see. All right. Which team has caused their fans the most pain in round 2 so far? Stars, Oilers, Canes. I'm gonna make that a poll. I'll make that a poll. Let's see. Yeah, the way the game unfolded was a sight to see. Let's see. Carolina was pretty good at home. They should beat New York at home. Yeah, both game ones in the West had big leagues choked away. Have they ever heard of defense? Incorrigible Goat Slayer says Kochetkov is a brick wall. Rangers will have a hard time. iDog said there's going to be so many penalties in game 3 that by the end, our top line is going to be Samuskevich, Okposo, and Lockwood. Let's see. Let me go over here. I think this a poll. Let's see. Which team has caused their fans the most pain so far in round 2? And your options are Stars, Canes, Oilers. Okay. There's the poll. Which team has caused their fans the most pain so far in round 2? Is it the Canes for losing game 1 and then losing game 2 in double overtime? Is it the Stars for blowing a 3-0 lead to the Avalanche at home? Or is it the Oilers who found a way to blow, what was it, a 4-1 lead to the Canucks? Let's see. So Dennis says, I want my fourth line back. Lomberg, Gadjo, and Stenlund, especially for game 3. Maurice will probably say, you're going to have Lorentz, Cousins, and Okposo, and you're going to like it. I mean, the fourth line made a strong case for sticking together for now. Last night, is Lomberg the forgotten man? Leafs for not being there. So, sorry, Dennis. So, what a victory for the Panthers last night. And like I had mentioned last night during the euphoric post game, there were two major differences between how the Panthers responded to being blown out and the Bruins responded to being blown out. The Panthers did not pull Bobrovsky even after the Bruins made it 4-1. And also, the Panthers were not instigating a bunch of scrums, slashing people behind the knees, or trying to fight Marchand or something like that. So, hello.
Hey,
What's up?
well,
Yeah.
So, what's today? What do we got going on today?
Well,
Oh,
tonight
but
is Hurricanes Rangers game 3, and Brindamore said that Kochetkov is starting tonight. Anderson apparently needs rest.
oh, really?
Yeah.
He needs rest. Well, he had that blood clot issue, right? So maybe his stamina is not what it would normally be. So that's well, I'm hoping for a longer series, obviously, right? And yeah, Keith got fired.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think that's a big surprise, right? I mean, they got bigger issues than coaching, but as we've seen with the Panthers, the right coach can make the big difference, except for when he stubbornly leaves the lines the same to start game 2. That's not good. How you doing, Trey? Oh yeah, the Panthers are dirty. Yeah, they shouldn't be fighting in hockey. I know, right? I seen a little bit of it. I don't even bother engaging with it. That was hockey last night.
Derek says, I left the chat last night after the first period and Florida went off. Clearly, I need to exit the chat when they play.
I see. Yeah, John. Yeah, they gave him a vote of confident that they want his ass to leave. Right? Yeah, Derek, I got a podcast for the members coming out a little bit later, and I talk about that a lot, where it's just like, if Boston comes out in game 3 and their goal is to get retribution for all of the rough stuff last night, then we won. You know what I mean? That's going to be on Montgomery. It's either Montgomery's going to sit them down and say, hey, we got to play hockey, or let's focus on, beating guys up. And you see what happens when they focus on hitting and beating guys up. They wasn't so good on the hockey part. Hey, JC, how you doing, bud?
Catherine
Ryan Reese says Chuck can't win a fight against Rempe. Well, that just makes him smart. That just makes him smart. Sorry. And to further that point, sorry, Kyle, but it's all part of Kachuk's personality, because he pick a fight with somebody. It's not like Pasta is. I mean, Pasta's a full-grown man, okay? But yeah, ask for a fight with somebody that as Kachuk, you're liable to win. You win the fight, and then you get in Boston's head of, we got to get him back. We got to get him back. And then we win again. So, yeah, well, why would he fight Rempe? I don't think anybody should be ashamed to say that they would lose to Rempe. That is a Sasquatch on skates. Go ahead, Kyle.
So I'll do a comments rapid fire.
Go ahead.
Catherine Alonso said, Jaws, I was worried for your sanity yesterday during game 2.
The first period, yes.
Yeah. Kenneth says, imagine the score if Florida plays 3 periods in this series. John being cheeky and saying Keith just been signed as an assistant head coach of the Dolphins. So, let's see.
Yeah, what Colin, what Monty did to Marchand was absolutely funny. Yeah, that was just great. I don't know which was better, the screaming in his face or the Look, Game 3 is either going to go one of two ways. It is either just going to get epically worse, or everybody's going to say, all right, that's enough. Let's go back to playing hockey. I have a feeling if Montgomery is smart, he's going to talk to his guys and say, look, we need to play hockey. Because if we played a game that was played last night, we are going to win the rest of the games in this series. We have too much talent because to be played against that way for Boston, because half our roster can play that way and the other half will be busy scoring goal after goal after goal like we saw last night. So I have a feeling that Montgomery, if he's a smart hockey coach, he's going to sit down with his team and say, look, that all right, but we need to settle this down. We got to score goals. Go ahead, Kyle.
So, Icy says I can smell a stadium series / winter classic matchup in the future with this rivalry.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing the Panthers in any of these, classics that they all have that never seems to involve the Panthers. Maybe, I guess they got to win a job, right?
So Jeff
win
says,
a job, win a cup. What did I was reading Shane's comment about Montgomery's job. And I was meaning to say they got to win a cup, and I said job.
So Jeff says the aggression from Boston would have probably worked 2 years ago. These cats aren't intimidated anymore.
Yeah. That's exactly right. I loved it. That was just beautiful. It got a little bit carried away, and the referees this year especially, and this goes back to the regular season against Ottawa, and they've done it in other teams' games too, where the refs are just like, that's it, just everybody's gone. 4 players, 6 players, everybody on the ice is just game misconduct. And generally speaking, I don't remember seeing a year where so many times the refs were just like, nope, everybody's gone. So there wasn't a lot of players left on the bench by the time we scored that shorty.
So Kenneth says a winter classic in Florida might be tough.
Yeah. But they could have Florida be the visiting team, right? You see what I'm saying? They could have Florida travel for it. And what about the Southern Classics? When do we get the Southern Classics? Right?
Kevin says Panthers love being physical, so the Bruins trying to throw us off by getting physical didn't work. Well, right. Yeah, the Panthers are built to play basically any style of hockey and succeed.
Yeah.
Right out thrive in the case of physicality or defensive games.
Yeah.
So
John asked, does Lomberg play if ready? I hate to tell you this, John. Lomberg's been ready. This is a coach's decision to keep Lomberg out and put Okposo on the ice. So
yeah,
we keep, I mean, there's good and bad to that. I know all the arguments. You guys have heard me talk about it enough, what I said in the recap last night. It is what it is. We got a good team, Okposo certainly hasn't done anything to be, worth taking off the ice. And so Maurice likes the way that fourth line is playing as a group. You got to figure at some point somebody's going to get dinged, and Lomberg is the first guy on. But then, if we get Bennett back, hey, Robert, hello from Sweden. Thank you for joining us. If we get Bennett back, who are we taking off? Are we going to take Lorentz off, or are we going to take Cousins off when Stedman goes back to 4C? That's a whole nother, because if Maurice will sit Lomberg, he'll sit Cousins. You would assume, right? So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, they've been good as long as they can stay in. Just Okposo is. There's a couple moments where I watched and like, yeah, we could use Lomberg right there, but we're not looking for goals from that line really, and we got one anyway. So
Dennis says Okposo as a Zamboni on skates.
I don't think he's as slow as he appears. It's just next to the rest of our guys, he looks pretty slow. He stands out. He really does. But the rest of it hasn't really cost us. You know what I mean? Like, there's not been any times where, oh, crap, they got a goal because Okposo was too slow to get back. It hasn't happened. He's just not going to, the one move he tried yesterday where he was trying to get around the guy along the boards with the pucks. That ain't going to happen.
So Kevin asks, who would you prefer to see as the starting goaltender for Boston, Swayman or Ullmark? I think you should ask the Bruins fans. They probably would want to see Swayman again.
I want to see Ullmark, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I think we would chase him too, and then you're going with the chaos of going back and forth, kind of like we did that year with Bob Drieger, Bob Knight, or did we go back to Drieger a second time? I forget. That was a crazy series. I feel comfortable against both right now. Kenneth, yeah, Yager, I've talked about that. Yeah, I said that when I first saw Okposo. Inside the zone, he reminds me of Yager in the sense that he's good at handling the puck and keeping the puck in the zone and all of that. And then you see the rest of the play, and everybody's down at the other end of the ice, and Yager was just crossing center ice. Okposo's not that slow.
Oh, yeah. Jameson Olive brought up a statistic that said there needs to be more kudos given to Kulikov because apparently while he was on the ice, the Panthers shots were like 20-2 on 5-on-5. And that's Boston had 0 expected goals during the time that Kulikov was on the ice.
Huh.
So
interesting. Yeah, no, he's played well. He had, I mean, when we played poorly, it was the only guy that really stuck out as being terrible, having a bad game was Ekblad. The whole team played poorly, but Ekblad was the only one that really kind of stunk out. And it's just amazing how different the team immediately got when Maurice put the lines back. And I am never going to stop saying it until it happens. I want a full year of Barkov, Reinhart, Tarasenko. That just has to happen.
Kulikov deserves props for that beautiful waltz he was dancing with the Bruins player.
Yeah. Oh, that was so much fun. That whole thing was so much fun. Not for Bruins, I'm sure. So.
Yeah, Barkov was amazing yesterday. So
Damon says Cousins, Tkachuk, and Bennett. When Bennett comes back, I don't think there's going to go back to that. I don't know. To be honest with you, Damien, as in terms of what Maurice is going to do, I've guessed right a lot this year and last year. I think I said this in the podcast today, where it's just like most of the time I've been kind of him and I'll say I think I want to see this, and that's what he does. Not because of me, but we're just seeing it the same way. But this playoff series, I've not seen it the same way. I don't know what I mean. If Bennett comes back, you just keep it the way it was with Barkov, Reinhart, Tarasenko, Bennett, Tkachuk for Hagee. You leave that alone. And then who knows what he's going to do with the fourth line.
So I'll do another comments rapid fire.
Yeah,
Paul Maurice is here. He says full year of Barkov, Reinhart, and Tarasenko is going to happen. He spoke to Zito last night. Where's Verhaeghe gonna go? Metallic Coaster says Barkov, Rhino, Vladdy could all be 20-plus goal scorers next year if we kept it that way, you think?
Yeah, at least, right?
Kyle Gliwa says, I'm sure this was discussed already, late to join, but can we please recognize the great game that Ekblad played? He was so good. Easily one of our top 3 players from last night.
Yeah, he really stepped up after. I mean, players know when they have a bad game. There was no mistaking, Ekblad really having a horrible game 1. And I didn't see any problems with anything he did last night. He played well. He's figured out how to not look slow. He's staying in just the right positions. He's not jumping up on the play when he shouldn't be and then having to get caught chasing back. So I give him a lot of credit for sort of reinventing himself a little bit from the player that we all kind of thought he was going to be in the beginning, right? He kind of thought he was going to be like a real solid two-way, a lot of offensive, and then with the injuries, he's kind of had to reinvent himself, be like, all right, I guess I'm staying at home, you know what I mean? And he's gotten let Forsling do. Speaking of, like Forsling's goal last night, was that a rocket or what?
It was a snipe. Just
yep. Hey, Paul, thank you,
hey,
Coach.
Paul, thank you,
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, buddy.
He says, was at the game last night as a fan, and that was the most fun playoff game I've ever seen live in person. Hard hits, skilled goals, a perfect combo.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Paul. Trey says, we're not giving you Verhaeghe for Marner. What? I got to see this. I love you, Ken. Ken's not serious, right? I'm not convinced Verhaeghe is in Florida next year, so it'll be a different line. You have him confused, Kenneth, with Reinhardt, or you think we're going to move Verhaeghe because Verhaeghe's still got another year in his contract, or are you meaning Reinhardt, or are you thinking we're actually going to trade Verhaeghe?
Great White asks, Jaws beside Bob, does anyone else have a no trade contract?
Let me answer that question for real. Just Kyle, run the stream. I'll check this out.
Okay.
I know that somebody does, but it's a lot of modified. So let me look at that.
Paul Marie says, I told Zito we want Marner. We'll shape him up to Panthers hockey.
Okay. Yes. So to answer that question, Barkov, Tkachuk have, God, my eyes are so bad. Hold on a second. Barkov and Tkachuk have full no move clauses. Tarasenko has, it doesn't matter. It says RS, no trade clause, but that doesn't matter. Does Ekblad? Yeah, Ekblad has a no move clause, but
it's cut down to 12 teams this summer.
I think his contract, I believe, his thing is going to be modified next year. Let me look at that here real quick. I believe Ekblad's becomes modified next year. Oh, my eyes are so bad. Yeah. So Craig. Barkov, Tkachuk, and then Ekblad. But with that modified means he submits a list of 12 teams he cannot be traded to. So let's put it this way. If we ever decided to move Ekblad, I'm sure that if we did, it would be for peanuts to wherever he asked to go to. Well, I don't think you're going to see, he's not going to just suddenly get shipped out to San Jose like Duclair did. You know what I mean? That's not going to happen. I don't think they're, but realistically, as long as we can sign Reinhardt, we can keep the whole group together another year and then deal with the consequences the year after that. But we are in win a cup right now and next year mode. That is those 2 years that Tampa won. These are the 2 years, whether we win or not, we don't know. But that's where we are. And then we're going to have, we can't keep everybody. We're going to have to pay the piper somewhere down the road. But this year and next year, as long as we can keep Reinhardt, we should be good to go.
Craig
we might have to lose Montour, but 6-1. Go ahead, Kyle.
Craig says, see Yandel dropping Stamkos to Florida next season rumors.
No, we got too many players as it is. You know what I mean? As it is to re-sign Tarasenko, we might have to move Rodriguez.
Hey, John. Thank you,
John. Thank you, John. Thank you, bud. Read it, Kyle.
After Tkachuk beat up Pasternak, Keith Tkachuk found Pasternak stand and beat him up too.
That's great. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. That's good stuff, man. I expect that from Trey. That's gold. Yeah. Oh, Dennis says music to my ears, Trey Rodriguez. Well, I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole with that, but let's put it this way. I like Rodriguez as a player, but if it comes down to we can sign Tarasenko but have to move Rodriguez, I'll pack his bags and drive him myself. Okay. That's not a decision. That is not a choice. That is you call somebody, be like, you want Rodriguez for free? Good, done, click. Vladdy, come here, sign your contract. You don't even blink. And give Zito credit for. I mean, nobody really thought much of it when we traded Duke and we got Lawrence. We're like, okay. And now the dude is scoring goals in game 2 of the second round, and Duke's out. So you got to give Zito credit because realistically, what were we going to get for Duke for 1 year of a guy coming off of an Achilles? What were we really going to get for him? And when you really look at, I mean, the fact that we just got Lawrence for him, it's just Zito just finds ways to squeeze value out of every possible asset. Go ahead, Kyle.
Well, Jackson says Lawrence has 2 goals in the playoffs.
Yeah.
iDog says Rodriguez gonna score the game-winning goal in quadruple overtime for game 3 now.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm trying to bitch Okposo into a goal, but he's not cooperating. I've been bitching about the dude for 2 straight weeks. And does he have a goal with us yet? Did he get a goal at all this season? Somebody answer that question. I don't know.
Michael says, what's up, everybody? Huge win last night.
Yeah, Kyle, you two looked pretty good last night. Yeah, I agree. But, he got moved back down to the third line. So competition. I mean, I love E2 as a player. I do. These guys, Lusterine and Lundell, they're still young. I mean, Lundell's got a lot of growing up to do. Thank you, Hot Dog. Just the 1 assist. Ryan says, do I think Tarasenko has contributed? Yes. It may not be coming out on the scoreboard. And you also got to give, Maurice left him on that third line with Lundell and Luosterainen since the last game in Tampa, right? So, Tarasenko, if you watch his game, even when he doesn't have to, he's bought into the system. He's laid hits. He's playing good defense. He may not have any goals yet. Does he have? I think he's got something in the Tampa series. But if Maurice just leaves the dude alone to be next to Reinhart and Barkov, he's going to start putting pucks in the back of the net. That's going to happen. He should have never put him on the third line with Lundell and Luosterainen. It's just not. It wasn't working at all. Hell, Rodriguez was doing better on that line than Tarasenko. Go ahead, Carl.
Michael says, regarding the vote on who's caused the most pain for their fans in round 2 so far, he chose the Canes, but he changes his answer to the Oilers. Blowing a 4-1 lead in the playoffs is the worst. Don't forget, the Stars blew a 3-0 lead at home.
I mean, which one is worse? They had a quick 3-0 lead, right? But Edmonton had like a 4-1 lead
in the second period,
like
late.
2/3 of the way through the second period. Yeah, I mean, that's all you got to do is get out of that second period at 4-1, and the game is, 95% of the way over. And not just blew the lead, but lost the game in regular. It didn't even have to go to overtime.
Yeah,
that's bad, man.
At least the Stars took it to overtime.
Yeah.
So, Strafasi, yes, I do think you are nuts for wanting to sit Stenlund for a game. I mean, Stenlund was doing excellent last night. Unless Lomberg's coming back.
I have no problem with that. If Bennett comes back and you want to go Barkov, Bennett, Lundell, Lawrence, I got no problem with sitting Stenlund. I think he's hurt because all year long, whenever he had to step up to 3C or even when we saw him on the fourth line, he looked quick, not fast, but he don't look right. his first couple steps don't look right to me. I think he's hurt. So I'm not going to knock him because I like him as a player. But Lorentz right now, if you put Lorentz and Stenlund in a race right now, I think Lorentz would motor him to death. So I really feel like Stenlund. I started complaining about Stenlund. I noticed it the first period of the final Tampa game. I'm watching him like Stenlund don't look right. He's so slow all of a sudden. So I think he got dinged and he's gutting it out.
Hello, True.
Hey, Nick, how you doing, bud?
Yeah, we figured out how to beat Swayman. And Blair, yeah, we heard that Sheldon Keefe has been fired.
Yeah. Hey, MJ, thank you, brother.
MJ, thank you,
buddy. All right, go ahead, Kyle. Read it out.
Says, hey, Jaws and Kyle. Sorry I missed last night's game. Great win last night. Sheldon Keefe got fired. I called it. Freeze, Ice, and Yeti are possible names for the Utah NHL team. There's like 20 names.
That is like 20 names, right?
A new Lord of the Rings movie is coming out in 2026.
Oh, jeez. Well, if we start watching it now, we'll be done watching it by 2026, right?
Metallic Coaster says Stenlund is best at clearing the zone and PK out. We do kind of need him for PK.
Yeah. Thank you again, MJ. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated. Yeah, I mean,
let's see.
Colin says breaking news: Bennett will practice tomorrow for morning skates, and then we'll see how it goes from there. That's interesting. Craig says Utah should beat the Raptors. I'm going to stick with Salt Lake Sasquatch. This is not difficult. It's not difficult. Imagine the logo. They can almost make the logo in the same style as the old Coyotes, uniform. They could make the Sasquatch in that style. I know it's never going to happen. But that's why don't ever give me a hockey team, because that's the shit I'd be banging the table for. You're like, Josh, shut up, man.
Unfortunately, I think the new Utah team cannot make Kachina jerseys because one, Maruello owns the rights to the original Coyotes and their Kachinas. So, and two, the amount of salt that would be unleashed if Utah got to wear Kachina jerseys. That's an Arizona feed. It's not even the Utah feed.
Yeah, most people kind of like the Utah Yetis, or I guess plural is Yeti.
My personal choices for the name, Caribou, Outlaws, Black Diamonds. There was a couple of others. I think maybe Yeti or...
How come we didn't get Skunk Ape thrown in there? The Utah Skunk Apes. I guess nobody could say it. That'd be difficult to say.
We did not see the jerseys for Utah yet.
Right. Yeah, Ice, Outlaws, Utah Outlaws.
Black Diamonds.
Utah Black Diamonds, Utah Ice.
Oh, yeah, Mammoths.
Yeah, that's another one. That would be a cool logo.
And
right? I wonder they could copy the old Panther stuff, have the mammoth coming at you with the stick in his mouth.
Metallic Coaster says the Storm and Mormons. I remember. That's the one we were all kind of hoping for. Storm and Mormons. It's right there.
Yeah, Craig. No, I know. Kyle, remember we went to that park where we used to live in Malabar? Yeah. We saw the skunk ape footprints.
Yeah.
Yeah. We used to live a house in Malabar where there was some acres and acres of untouched land kind of off to the side and behind us. We used to, and there was some skunk ape footprints that we saw. It's either that or a 10-foot dude. I'm not gonna guess either way because we didn't actually see the skunk ape. But there had been people that lived in that area that said that they had seen a skunk ape crossing the road. There was rumors about that. But
I never heard that part.
Yeah. I used to talk to some people when every once in a while when I would walk Logan. And it wasn't your mother walking him. There was a couple of people I'd stop and talk to, and I'd seen people at the park. But anyway, and back to hockey.
Luigi says Sheldon Keefe has been fired.
Yep.
Yeah. So
you saw one when you was a kid in Delray. Yeah, I never saw one, but you know what we used to see? I know this is off topic. My dad and I used to go fishing at the Newport Pier. And this is the early 80s, before it was it was the Sunny Isles Pier. But anyway, when we would be driving over to 163rd Street Causeway early in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, when you would get over the Causeway, there wasn't anything built up or anything. And the whole drive to the beach, or at least half of the drive to the beach, you would have to go really, really slow and shine your brights because the road was completely covered in crabs. And you could only drive like 10, 12 miles an hour. And just as the crabs would make way for you, but the road was just covered in crabs, and because both sides of the road were just full of mangroves. Now, of course, it's all built up in its buildings, and you'd never see a freaking crab in your life. But yeah, that was it just brought up that memory, I guess. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
True says, nice screen tip by Lorenz for first goal.
Yeah.
You remember when we went to like that beach in Virginia for the vacation, and you were out there, I think, with Fluffy early in the morning, and you kept hearing clack, 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 clack.
Yeah.
It was all those crabs crossing the road.
Yeah. All right. So what's going on here? I'm read the chat, Kyle. I'm looking at something. Read the end of the chat.
Let's see. Kenneth says, same reason why Dumas got fired. He bought a Panthers hat. Speaking of which, maybe I should get one. Let's see.
The Utah Fluffies. I'm reading what Paul said up above.
Yeah.
Hungry Xenomorph. The Utah polygamists. The chat went really fast when we were putting out names, so I'm going up above looking. Trey says someone on Facebook said if they go with the Utah powder, their mascot can be the cocaine bear. Their mascot can be the cocaine bear.
Julian says, hey guys, I went to game 2. That fight made the stadium erupt. Insane. Love Kachuk. Hot Dog says it would be hilarious if the Leafs hired Joel Quenneville.
Yeah, I was just we talked about that as a joke. I mentioned it as a joke a couple of days ago on one of the streams because, Toronto's the center of the hockey universe, right? So, yeah, it would be, I mean, I don't know how they would feel about that, right? Because that's what they need is a veteran coach that knows how to take a team that should be ready to win. You know what I mean? I don't think that they would do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's at least talked about, but I don't think that they would do it. I'm not suggesting they should or they shouldn't, but how many of those other guys are out there?
I'm rooting for the truly hilarious. I know this is probably even less likely. I'm personally rooting for the most hilarious outcome where the Leafs go crawling back to Mike Babcock.
I'm reading what Trey just said. Jesus Christ. You're going to get me demonetized. Oh, my God. Craig says, watch Cooper go there. Oh, my God. Shut up. Shut up. Somebody ban Craig. Don't ever say that ever again. Ever. That's all we freaking need. God dang. No. Oh, my God. Metal says David Quinn. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see.
They'll probably do something stupid like hire. Is Lindy Ruff still looking for a job?
I don't know. Is he? These guys bounce around so much, I can't keep track. You know what I mean? A lot of the No, you didn't really mute him, right?
No, Craig's comment is still there, so
Okay.
don't actually ban Craig.
Yeah, don't. I think they know.
Oh yeah, that's right. He went back to the Sabres.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. They rehired him. Yeah, that's always interesting. It'll be crazy to see. I wonder if they're going to try to do something quick or if they're going to take their time. Look, they're going to have to sort through it, right? They got rid of Dubas last year. What?
JC says Leafs hire Bugner.
Oh my God. I'm going to assume that Trey is trying to say Pomo, and it's doing talk to text, and it said Bomo. I think talk to text got Trey. Yeah, Colin, that's a really good point. There's one thing I'm worried about tomorrow is if Boston's going to try to go after Bennett. Yeah. You got to make sure his hand is not going to get re-injured by just normal play, you know.
So MJ says sources say Craig Berube is the top candidate for the Leafs. Yeah, that was the St. Louis Blues coach who got fired. The Blues took the interim tag off of the coach that replaced him, so Blues are sticking with their guy. So Berube might be coaching the Leafs.
Yeah.
But Julian says Leafs got to pull the Panthers, trade their Hoobie Marner for Brady Tkachuk. Pretty simple.
We talked about that before, but they'd have to give. I mean, okay, if Marner is Huberdeau in that deal, who's Uyghur?
Probably Tavares.
No, they're gonna want Nyes. They're gonna want Nyes or something. They're not gonna take two. They're not gonna take Marner and Tavares for Tkachuk. That don't work because that's way too much money. Shavachi says Riley. I mean, maybe. Yeah, because, you can give the prospect in the first. Yeah, Trey says it would be Marner, Nyes, 2 1s, and an AHL guy. Kenneth says take Robertson. Leafs hire Paul Bessonette. Yeah, the extra one because it's Ottawa, right? Yeah, that's the thing. It's that second piece, right? And look, I mean, you got to be in a position to give up that much, and would Brady want to go to Toronto? That's the other thing. Ryan says, I want to see the Panthers play the Avalanche in the Cup final since 96. Yeah, that would be, there's been a lot of people that have kind of wanted that rematch for a long time. I mean, the only thing attractive about playing Colorado is their goaltending is not always top notch. Right?
Well, take your pick because I sort of doubt that the winner of the Edmonton and Vancouver series is going to be able to take out either Dallas or Colorado.
No.
So take your pick. It's either a Peter DeBoer coached Stars team or
I take the Avs.
Yeah,
I'll take Colorado. I'll take Colorado. I'd rather face Gorgiev than Ottinger. Because Ottinger gets hot. He can Bubba Brewski to you. You know what I mean? Hey, MJ. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, MJ.
He says he just read an article online where they interviewed many players and coaches, and a majority of them do not want to go play or coach in Canada.
Yeah. And, it's it's 2 different countries. It's tough. Look at what the players in Florida, and not just Florida, but Florida, Tampa, Carolina, Nashville, Dallas, the southern markets. Look at the weather. I mean, Vegas, right? Look at what they get to experience versus if you're in Calgary. It's a whole different. It's an entirely different life. Trust me, I know. I've lived in Miami and I've lived in Alaska. It's 2 different lives. and you deal with it and you accept it, and you don't sit there and opine and be like, I want to be back. But at the same point, on the 3rd February, 3rd February, you can go fishing, you can maybe go to the beach, you can go to a theme park, or you can sit your ass in the house because it's still 6 feet of snow outside your door. I know which one I'm picking. Go ahead, Kyle.
The final 4 last year were Dallas, Florida, Vegas, and Carolina, all Southern teams.
Yeah. That's true. And Ryan is correct. We're going to have to beat the Rangers. There's no, I mean, the Canes could still win the series, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be the Rangers. I think that's going to be very even series because Shesterkin and Bob are very, very similar in the sense that they have the possibility to look like Patrick Waugh, and they also have the possibility of looking like James Reimer at any given moment. And you don't know which dude you're getting, sometimes from period to period. I think Shesterkin is a little bit more solid. I think Bob's high end is a little bit better, but Shesterkin doesn't go off the deep end as much as Bob does. Basically, they both, I think it would even out at the end. What? Oh, I'm seeing what Paul Maurice said.
So, yeah, though it was a great victory last night, and we got to keep it up.
Yep. Costa, I hope you're right, man. I don't like to say that because of what I did to myself last year by proclaiming it all year long.
True says we still have a whole line of guys just waiting to play when someone starts feeling tired, unlike any other team.
Then that's true. That is true, right? And I mean, we got a line of guys behind that line of guys too. Remember last year when Tkachuk was out, Denisenko was the first man on the ice. The difference now is ridiculous. Go ahead. Hey, MJ. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, MJ. Thank you.
It says, when it comes to the States, I'd say New York and Philadelphia are the 2 toughest hockey markets to play in. Anyone agree?
Certainly Philly, I agree with. You're probably right. I mean, New York, Boston, 6 of one, half dozen of another. Pittsburgh's not as difficult, but that's not an easy place either. There's a lot of history, a lot of pressure there.
Yeah.
But Philly for sure.
Philly fans are tough in all sports. Hungry Seymour will never forget that Eagles fans pelted Santa with batteries. Like it's Santa Claus, man. You're throwing stuff at Santa.
Yeah. No, MJ, Pittsburgh's just a little bit more laid back. Yep.
Yeah.
Excuse
me.
There's
the Yinzers. You'll always have the Steelers got to Super Bowl.
Yeah. So look, what do we got tonight? We got to find some way to get these Canes to even that series out a little bit, just so it goes. You don't want the Rangers sweeping, and then we're sitting here going to 7 games against Boston, and then everything gets flipped around. You know what I mean? We don't want the Rangers sitting there getting healthy after the 2nd round. That can't be good. And but it is true. We've got guys. If anybody gets dinged a little bit, there's no reason to wear somebody out and take chances with any injuries in the bottom 6 guys. You just pop somebody in there. And we got guys that played for us this year we haven't even talked about. Lockwood, right? Balinskis, got a few guys. A lot of the Checkers guys are on the roster traveling with the team. I don't suspect that we'll see any of them unless things really fall off the rails injuries-wise, but you never know. But it's just the difference in last year's depth versus this year. Yeah. Last year it was Zach Dalpe and Denisenko.
Let's see. True says there's no reason why Marchand can just skate around with the puck. We need to just put him on his buddy every time he tries to stick handle.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Hot Dog says Marsh and Duclair are both free agents. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Marsh. I don't really know what Duclair is going to do. But Marsh is so, how old is he? What, 31, 32, maybe 31? So he's still got another short-term good-sized contract in him, I think. I just wonder where he's going to go. Where does he want to play, right? I mean, Florida, Vegas, that is sunshine and rainbows, you know what I mean? But boy, I bet you Toronto would love to have him. So he's going to get offers if he goes to, who knows? Marchessault and Reinhart could be waiting on each other to see which number they each get. There's going to be somebody's getting the big contract, and then they'll slot in underneath. And I don't suspect we're going to know. We could all guess, but just give him the damn contract, Bill. What I'm sure he's already given him a contract. What I want to know is what's the offer that Zito has given him that Reinhardt's like, yeah, I'm not signing that just yet. Not signing that just yet. Hungry wants to know what the chances are the Leafs try to get Ullmark. I think they got to figure out what they're going to do with coach. I don't know that Ullmark. I don't know if Ullmark really solves your issue. If Boston can't win with Ullmark, Toronto ain't going to win with Ullmark. Ullmark is a really good goalie, but I just don't think he's a guy that you pick to ride. To ride to a cup. But sometimes those guys are out there and you don't know it either. My concern is are they going to call about Spencer Knight? Are they going to try to take Stolarz from us? I don't think that we would trade the Leafs Spencer Knight. I don't think that would happen. But you got to see what the new coach decides. Are they going to try to make small tweaks? Are they going to keep it all together and just roll with the new coach and the new system? They got a lot of decisions to make. So, all right, everybody, that is going to do it for us. My voice is done. Kyle is ready to have some lunch. I got to get downstairs to feed the dog. Appreciate all of the support. Thank you for all the super chats. Really enjoying. I'm really happy that this is the way the reviews turned out. Yeah. It's not the way the season started. It's not the way I planned it. But boy, am I enjoying this. I ain't going to lie about that. So appreciate everybody. When we first started, when it first was new, it was like 10, 20 people. And now we got 100 people in here. So we're having a really good time.
Yeah, Derek, we are streaming Rangers Hurricanes game 3 tonight.
We will be, Trey says. We will be live 1/2 hour before the game tonight. And then we will be obliterated 1/2 hour after we go live. That's how it works on non-Panther nights. All right, everybody. Appreciate all the support. And we'll see you guys again soon.
All right. See ya.